people today. If he does it, he'll be in the same truck that he won in at that race at Eldora. I just spoke to his crew chief, Jerry Baxter. I said, what's your strategy? He said, we're going outside of the box a little bit. We're going to put 4 tires on both of our stops. That is the only way we feel like we can win this race. Ray?
Hermie, we talk all the time that the best racing in NASCAR is the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Well, 35 times in this series we've had a last lap pass, and 4 of those have happened on road courses, all at different racetracks. But when we talk about a last lap pass, it's because there's a great opportunity. And I'm in turn number 10, right before the front straightaway, and today I'm going to get some orange cones, and I'm going to bring them in tight here in turn number 10, because this is Calamity Corner. It's a danger zone. And you guys all talked about strategy. When will they pit? How many tires? All of that. None of it matters unless you can get through this final corner and have a shot to get right down there to the finish line.
Thank you, Ray. And as the trucks make their way around this nearly 2.5-mile road course, we go on board with a few drivers, and this is going to be a difference maker in our coverage today, Phil.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're going to start out with Ben Kennedy. He makes his first ever Truck Series start on a road course. He has a little bit of experience in the K&N Series. He had a 4th place finish at VIR, so he does have some road course experience, and he will start from the 12th spot.
Talked to Matt Kraft, and we're going to ride along with Matt. He talked about how difficult of a time he had here a year ago, but he's very confident about this truck today. He's going to start from the 8th position, thinks he has a truck that he can contend for the win with, Phil.
We saw a lot of this guy in our setup show here, Amon Quiroga. Could he get that first win here on a road course? He will start his Otterbox Toyota from the 4th spot for Red Horse Racing.
How about our post hitter, Alex Tagliani, the 41-year-old from Montreal, Quebec. He's going to drive the Reese Tow Power Ford from the pole position, looking for the 2nd win in a row from this team. Look, he's got a fancy foot cam. Let's see if we can talk to him about that foot cam. Hey, Alex Tagliani, it's Michael Waltrip up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. Can you hear me, brother? Better yet, can he understand me?
He's trying to speak English.
Try him again. Hello, Alex Tagliani, Michael Waltrip, Fox Sports 1. Do you read me?
I think Alex is treating you like he's going to treat the competition the rest of the day. Hang them out to dry.
Well, I never.
The green flag goes in the air when we return. Good to have you with us here on Fox Sports 1. Less than a lap before we go green here north of the border for the Camping World Truck Series. You will see the starting lineup top of your screen. And as you look at where today's drivers are starting, we hear from the pole sitter. Michael?
Let's try again. Alex, it's Mike up in the Fox Sports 1 booth. Do you read me, brother? Must be hard to hear over that way. Just wondering what the key do you think winning this race today will be? Weather is impending. Are you ready for rain, or do you think it's going to be a factor?
You know, sometimes things are just not meant to be. We talked to Alex during the break. He heard us fine. Unfortunately, can't hear us now. And I think the fact that we're having trouble communicating with him helps us understand just how big this facility is.
Yeah, and his crew chief will have that same problem here. That's why these teams will have at least 3, if not 4 spotters around this racetrack. So a lot of times they'll have to relay message.
They'll have to talk through spotters.
Yes,
to the
exactly.
crew chief. And you're right. You know, we've talked how much strategy means here and how difficult it is to have the right strategy. Communication can become a problem as well.
It may be his first Truck Series start, but Alex Tagliani, no stranger to success when it comes to racing, and most notably perhaps the 2011 pole for the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah, we saw him almost win a nationwide race at Elkhart Lake here earlier this year, driving for Team Penske. So he's very, very accomplished on the road courses.
At Road America, he ran out of gas. They got him fuel for a green-white checker, restarted 23rd, and finished 2nd.
Now, explain.
One attempt at a green-white checker. 23rd to 2nd, 2 laps.
Explain how you do that. I mean,
well, the track's 4 miles. It's a long way, so that's 8 miles. But he was on dry tires. So we take a look at Doug Randolph, crew chief for Alex Tagliani.
I don't think pressure's on him today.
I don't think I've passed 21 cars in my road course career. He did it in 2 laps.
But if it rains, you're supposed to stay offline, and you were good at that.
I had that one figured out. Man, I love this race. I can't wait to watch these guys work through this turn 10 area. They're heading up toward 8, 9, 10, the S's. This is when it's really going to get fun, because these trucks aren't like an Indy car or even a nationwide car. They got a high center of gravity. They've got a lot of power, and they're hard to hang on to.
And the fans really fell in love with road course racing in NASCAR when we went to the double foul restarts. Opportunity for track position right now. 14th race of the year for the Camping World Trucks. Alex Tagliani, Gray Gaulding on the front row. We are underway north of the border.
Great start by Eric Jones. He filled that hole inside of Gray Gaulding behind Tagliani. Going to try to take that second spot away.
But Gaulding on the inside will have the preferred line as we head up the hill and then the blind corner at turn 2.
Yeah, great move by Gray Gaulding off at turn number 1 to get that inside preferred line. Eric Jones, now the 51 truck's going to settle in third, side by side for 4th.
That's Cole Custer inside line, going to get around Armand Quiroga. That's the battle for 4th, and Andrew Ranger settles in 6th behind him.
How about 2 teenagers right now? 2 16-year-olds running up in the top 5. I'm making 3 teenagers running in the top 5.
And running part-time. I mean, it's difficult to come wheel these trucks as it is, but doing it part-time, an even bigger chore.
And watch this 53 truck a lot today, guys. You saw him right there. He was already down to the inside, looking to take a position away under braking. Andrew Ranger in the 53 is a road race ringer. He understands the way to make ground at a place like this is hard into the corners. You got to dive deep and grab spots away on entry.
Here's that long Mario Andretti straightaway we'll talk so much about today. Hitting speeds of 170 miles per hour before you get back to the brakes at turn 8.
And we saw Gray Gaulding follow Alex Tagliani during our practice session yesterday as well as during the qualifying session. Felt like he learned something. Put him up on the front row now. Tagliani with about 5 truck length lead as they get to the start-finish line.
You can see peeking out there again a bit. In back is the black truck of Ranger, and that's not a slouch he's up against. That's Armand Quiroga that he's racing. A very accomplished road racer on his own, but yet early in the going, Ranger's been able to keep pressure on him.
Another driver to keep an eye on. You saw him out of line there a moment ago. That would be the 29 truck of Ryan Blaney. Had those problems when he came in as the championship leader at Michigan, trying to rally back. And speaking of rallying, there is Ranger once again working over Quiroga.
And that's a concern of mine, Phil. We saw the 0-0 truck of Cole Custer. He had fuel spewing out of his gas tank, and so that means his gas mileage, him trying to precisely predict when he needs to come to pit road, could be different.
You know, Michael, as we watched qualifying yesterday, obviously we didn't televise that. That truck was doing the same thing during qualifying. Obviously, his team did not make any repairs to that, and you mentioned he may not be able to go the 28 to 30 laps these other drivers can.
That's Cole Custer there you see in front of Armand Quiroga as you ride on board with the 77.
Now remember, these trucks will get a good draft. You can see Quiroga closing as they head down towards 7. Because these trucks punch such a big hole in the ground, in the air, you can really gain some ground on the straightaways.
There's what Michael was talking about, that fuel coming out. The fuel, remember, it's on the wrong side here because these guys pit on the wrong side. But that fuel's definitely spewing out of that truck. It may not be as bad as it burns off a little fuel, but he's definitely losing fuel now.
Keeping an eye on Ranger. Only 3 laps into this thing. Michael, what is the balance of patience and aggression?
Well, I think here at this road course, you've got to get that track position as soon as you can get it. You've got to make every pass as soon as the opportunity presents itself. And that's why you see Ranger so persistently after Quiroga. He's changing lanes, taking a different line than Quiroga, trying to grab that spot away. It's so difficult to pass. If you try to just lay back and run laps, your opportunity might pass you by. So Ranger's on it right now.
I was talking to Alex Tagliani yesterday, and I asked him how difficult and challenging it was to pass there. He said, because this racetrack is so much rhythm, he said there's really very little passing zone. You would think as they go up into turn number 5, the slowest part of the racetrack, that would mean a passing zone, but it's not because of how you approach turn number 5.
And what I love, if I'm Bubba Wallace, Darrell Wallace Jr. running right behind Ranger there, he's keeping pace with that battle. So Bubba talked about yesterday after practice, he didn't like his truck. He couldn't make the ground that he wants. But you see, he's been able to gap the truck of Matt Crafton behind him. That means he can watch Ranger, study what Ranger does in setting up the pass, and maybe do the same thing. So good early start for Bubba Wallace, too.
You know, Sunday afternoons are normally reserved for the Sprint Cup Series, but today it's all about the Camping World Truck Series. We are 3 laps in here in Ontario, and there goes the hometown kid. Andrew Ranger has moved that 53 truck inside the top 5.
And he did it aggressively. We saw him dive to the bottom. I talked about getting into the corners, the best place to pass here at this racetrack. Ranger took advantage of that opportunity.
And we saw him take the look a couple times going in turn number 10 there, and finally figured out enough to make that move happen. Quiroga was able to recognize the fact that he was there and gave him some room. Ray Dunlap?
Brand new race trucks this weekend for Red Horse Racing. You know, last year a lot of teams came here with just a simple short track truck, but a number of guys said, if we're going to be able to have a shot at winning, we've got to bring a purpose-built road course truck. 29 trucks in the field, 11 of them brand new, built just for this race, including Herman Quiroga's and Timothy Peters.
I think these teams recognize the fact that if you're going to race for a championship, you can't give this race away, and that's why they bring brand new equipment here.
How about the battle from third on back? Tagliani leads 3 laps in. Gray Galding behind him in second, and there you see third on back coming through your screen. Eric Jones, the youngster, Cole Custer, the aforementioned Andrew Ranger, Herman Quiroga, and he's got company now. Haven't mentioned the name today of Darrell Wallace Jr., a 2-time winner this season.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace is on the move. Looks like he's going to make the move inside of Quiroga. He is there.
I talked about Bubba Wallace watching what Andrew Ranger did and how he was able to make the pass. Bubba, 1 lap later, makes the same move and makes the pass happen. He gets on the inside of Quiroga and is driving away.
He said, he was able to make that pass. Let me see if I could try that.
So far, so good for the man that started on the pole, Alex Tagliani. Grabbed the top spot early. He's got a 1-second advantage over Gray Galding. Chevrolet Silverado 250 for the Camping World Truck Series. Alex Tagliani started on the pole, continues to lead as he comes off turn 10 to complete lap 6. Gray Galding, Eric Jones, Andrew Ranger, Cole Custer, the top 5. The one change there, Ranger now up in the 4th position and trying to get 3rd away from the 51.
Yeah, Andrew Ranger is the truck on the move. He was the fastest truck on the racetrack the last 3 laps.
And he's been very aggressive, too, with his braking. So you have to wonder early on, Phil, we talked about patience, but you can't use up all your truck here early in the going. Making moves is important, but I'm sure Ranger, being the experienced road racer he is taking care of that equipment as well. But, man, he's really running hard into the corners. I talked to a bunch of people down the garage area. Most everybody put Alex Tagliani as the favorite, but there were a couple of crew chiefs and a couple of drivers said, you better watch Ranger. He's really fast in the short haul. It'll be interesting to see if we get a short run at the end of the race and Ranger can take advantage of that.
And we knew Ranger would be competitive, but we didn't know what kind of equipment he would have when he got here. That's a Penske Dodge engine in that truck that was rented for this race, and that's an ex-Gunbroker truck that we saw with so much success with Jay White and people like that driving it. So that's good equipment, a good engine, and a great driver.
And the next thing we'll find out about Andrew Ranger and whether or not he'll be a player late in this race is when they make that first pit stop, see how well they handle going over the wall. And as these guys come off turn 10 and come down the front straightaway, you'll see the pit lane here. Pitting at a place like this is going to be a little bit different for these teams.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. You're going to pit backwards. You're going to come in. Most of the teams will go to the left sides first, and then the right sides. And it's going to cost you probably a second or 2 seconds more than it normally would because, again, it's just so different. But right now we've got the lead battle closing up here a little bit.
What about that 16-year-old Gray Galding? He has caught our leader, Alex Tagliani, and has designs on taking that lead away from him. I just love Galding. Every time he shows up, he's impressive. Every week, no matter what the venue, the track, he's fast, right up front. And here in Canada, maybe the most impressive so far.
He's made 5 starts this year in the Camping World Truck Series, and he's not finished inside the top 10 yet. But as he pointed out to me yesterday in the garage, we have been far better than our results would show. And he's coming off a top 5 finish at VIR in the K&N East Series. So he's quite capable when it comes to road racing.
A very competitive series at the K&N Series on the east side.
I'm hearing that maybe the 19 of Alex Tagliani pits this time. Phil, we talked at the top of the show, somewhere between 8 and 12 laps. These trucks will come in, get that first pit stop out of the way, get enough gas to make it.
Here, coming to the pits. Remember your yellow line speed.
That's the word, coming to the pits.
And the reason is they want to get to pit road. You see him smoke the tires, get slowed down. He's got to be down to speed by that yellow line because now they would love to see the caution come out.
He's leading the race. The caution flies now. The field slows down. Everybody else will have to pit. He would assume the lead again.
This is a scheduled green flag pit stop. It's all a part of the strategy for Alex Tagliani, who gives up the lead in lap 8. Here he is, Ray.
Brand new trucks for BKR Racing also. Alex is driving Rocky. Ryan Blaney's in Bullwinkle. These guys will put 4 tires on it, plenty of Sunoco fuel on the Reese Tow Power Ford. They've got the left side done. Remember, the crews are doing their work backwards, fueling on the right side of the truck. They go with right side tires, check the front of the grill. They'll pull that out, and a little bit of a hang up on the right rear for the 19.
We We talk about challenging it is, pitting the wrong direction. That was a little bit of a slow pit stop for Tagliani. We also had reports that he was complaining on the radio of having his throttle stick.
Yeah, it looked like when he came to pit road, he got in there too hot, slid his front tires out.